Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the largest podcast by pounds in the world. Two tubs.
Number 1, Guinness Book World Record.
Oh, that's not true. But we're gonna talk about a little American Idol today.
If she pulls
auditions. Yeah, audition stuff.
Yeah. That's what we're going to talk about because there was an argument between Callie and I the other day because I like just watching the auditions.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
When he says just auditions, he means like YouTube clips
Just
of
the clips.
one specific audition.
And then,
I feel like that's pretty common nowadays, though.
but then I fast forward through all the, hey, this person.
Yeah, you just want to hear them sing.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to hear their skit.
And so
you don't like that.
No, I wanted to watch the whole show. I want to hear what the judges say. I want to see their little story. I want the whole experience.
So the other day I'm controlling the remote. Mm-hmm. And we have 2 remotes, so she can technically take it too.
2 remotes, 1 TV.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she is getting pissed off at me because I won't watch the episode. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't want to watch the episode because I just want to watch the clips. And she's getting mad. Why do you need the episode? Well, I want to know where they're from. I go, what the hell does that
I didn't know what city they were in.
But what is, tell me.
Well, don't ask me. I don't know.
City, tell me what the city has to do with how they sing.
Maybe upbringing. Maybe they're New York City, living on the streets. She wants to know that.
I want to know that.
Then
she's emotional.
She also gets mad
hormonal
when somebody says, "Hey, I'm from like Mexico or like Cuba or something like that," and they say, or like anywhere else in the world, and it's America's Got Talent or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm very accepting of all people, but when the show is called America's Got Talent, and you're coming on there, and it's not people who are.
Is it American Idol or America's Got Talent?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, both of them. Both shows. I'm sorry. I forgot we were talking about American Idol.
I don't know.
But America's Got Talent does the same thing. And it's not people even who have been like living in this country for a while. It's like, I flew here from.
Well, and the problem is.
Wherever, from Canada. And it's like, well, this is American Idol.
There's like a million countries got talent.
Yeah,
like
go
Australia's
to your
got
own.
talent. China's got talent, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure our prize pool is probably a little larger than theirs.
The publicity of ours is so much better.
I think if you're in the top 10, you pretty much have a career, right? Just from YouTube and whatever you do. Don't know what you're. Jesus Christ!
Talk to us,
Austin. You need to move your mic closer to you.
Closer?
Yes.
And so, but no, like so the thing is, like but she's getting mad at me because I won't watch the episode. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? And it all stemmed because I wanted to show her the new clip of America's Got Talent or America's Idol, right? American Idol, there was a person that was worked as a garbage man.
Ah, that was a good one.
And I wanted to show her it. And I thought it was pretty good, especially for
I thought it was awesome.
Especially for not having any like they're like, show me your range. Well, I don't know what that is. I mean, and not knowing any of that stuff and having no training or anything like that. And then all of a sudden it's, like Callie's like, this is like, what's so special about him? They're giving him special privileges because they let him warm up and stuff. And I'm like, gee, like, wow, you hate her.
Okay, so if you didn't see the episode, which, by the way, American Idol is back and in its big popularity again, which is really cool. But they usually have how it used to be on the show, like the first round of auditions where there was crazy people mixed in there. There was all sorts of whatever. They've clearly all...
There's different type of stories.
Right, and it was like there was the good, the bad, and the ugly kind of stuff. Now it's changed where you have had to make it through a screening process already to have gotten on the first auditions of the show. And they'll say that, where did you do your first audition when they come up to meet the 3 of them. And so this guy, it was a really cool story. He was a garbage man from somewhere down south and
somewhere in Georgia, I think.
Yeah, he sounded good. They knew he didn't know what he was talking about, so they sent him out to go warm up. I don't think they'd give anyone else that opportunity to be like, you didn't come ready. come back next year.
You
but
think
then
that they just don't show
I think
that,
you're being a
though?
little harsh. I think
but no, but
his
then
story
his-
won him that warm
Yeah.
up.
that's what I'm talking about. His story
So
won him that
maybe
audition.
people should be more compelling when they go on there and sell themselves.
have a sob story.
But I think
this
sometimes
wasn't a sob story at all.
No, it was
He
a
wanted to
very
be
it was
somebody.
an inspiring story, but
Yeah.
I think his audition, he sounded good. Did he sound anywhere near as good as any of the other people that they sent on that night? No.
See, my
so
thing
they
is-
let
Raw
him on
talent.
because
We're
of
going to
his
talk about raw talent right
or
now.
his potential
His
maybe.
raw talent was probably a lot
Better
higher
than-
than their raw talent.
See, and I think that's what I'm saying is I think they probably do it for people, but they're not good enough to put him on TV.
Well,
Right.
You know what I mean? Because his talent, his natural vocal voice was really good.
An untrained, raw.
Okay.
And he probably doesn't
Yes.
have the money to go get
But I'm
trained.
saying
Right.
I've seen it several times before where somebody comes on, isn't that well versed yet. They haven't had that much experience, and they come out there and they can tell they have talent. They can tell there's potential there, but they say, you need to go home, put in the work, put in the effort, and come back next year and try again.
But I said like a
they
lot of
didn't
those,
tell him to do that.
I
They
think
said,
a lot
oh,
of
you're
those are
just going to
younger
do
people,
fine.
though.
Yeah,
too.
but they never even heard his audition. He could have just came out and did the same exact
he
thing
didn't
anyway.
sing. He didn't sing at all when they
He
did.
didn't sing when they sent him out. They're like, why don't you go warm up first?
No, I'm saying after his second time he came back and he sang for them. He was good, whatever, but
then
he
they worked
wasn't
with
he
him.
wasn't well polished. And I'm saying anybody else that didn't have the same whatever story, they didn't fall in love with him right away, they would have said,
Okay,
you're
but he
good,
didn't-
you're not quite there, go do the work, come back next year.
What's
They
with
do
Lady
that
Nancy?
sometimes.
Well, that's I said because he didn't sing yet. He goes out,
Yeah.
warms up.
It would be
because-
different if he sang and they were like, you need to go warm up quick.
Because then they just said, "Oh, your voice is pretty good. I want to hear your range." And he goes, "I don't know what that is." So then he goes, "Who's the Luke Bryant?"
Luke
Yeah.
Bryan, yeah.
He's like, "Oh, well, I'll help you." Like, and then he plays the piano to help him because that guy had no idea, but they saw that he had raw talent, and he had a lot of the people that they say like that are either young, or they literally and they've had training.
Here's the
but
thing.
their raw talent's not as good as he is.
Here's the thing. They're going to do that to somebody that they see has a chance to win the show.
And that they can.
They're
get
not
good
going to
money
take
on the
someone
show.
that's been doing it. I'm not going to say it like bad, but like they're not going to use somebody that's been singing for 30 years and they're pretty good. They're not going to win the show. But when they see somebody who hasn't sang at all, and then like Luke Bryan said, he's got a lot in there that he
Yeah.
doesn't know about. Like they're going to get that out of him. He's going to put on a hell of a performance.
But
And
he's
it's-
not going to be able to progress that fast with all
How do
these
you
other
know?
people. He is on there solely for the entertainment factor.
But that's going to bring a lot of
pull
people
at your
to keep watching
heartstrings
it,
factor. And I'm just saying that's what it is. That
And they're in the entertainment
he's
business.
not on there because
they're
he's
gonna
that
try to
great of
get
a
him to-
singer.
She's a hater.
She's a hater today.
She's on the haterade.
She used to be the
She's-
nice one.
I know. That's what.
Boy,
That's what
how the mighty
surprised
have
me.
fallen.
So this is what went through my head when I first watched it. Like, oh, Callie would really like this, and then we
Yeah, he
watch
sent
it,
it
and
to
she's
me.
like,
It's ripping
she's
him
like,
apart.
I'm like, what? Like,
What a dirtbag.
I'm like,
A garbage
I'm like,
man.
Like, try to do this to show his daughter that she can do anything. And here's Callie. Oh, he's not that good. They would send anybody else home. And I'm like, okay, I thought you had a heart in there. I guess not when it
Jeez.
comes.
But maybe if I had seen the whole episode, I would have cared more. I don't know.
Oh.
And then we watched the whole episode, and you still ripped on it.
Oh boy, I watched it a few times. I really liked it.
I know I watched it a few times too, but
I really
and
liked
then
it.
she started getting on me because I wouldn't watch the episode, and then we had to watch the episode. And guess what? We watched all the same clips we watched before, except the episode parts that. And so I don't know. Like, do you have? Because okay, Austin and I watch a ton of auditions.
Ton.
Like, we watch.
like literally all of them, probably.
Do either of you have a favorite audition show? Like, it doesn't have to be in America. It could be Australia's Got Talent, or
Yeah, X Factor.
you think X Factor?
X Factor by far is
Oh,
the
yeah?
best one.
Why? What's
Yeah.
different about that makes
Is
it
that
your
still
favorite?
around?
I
'Cause
don't
that was
believe
Simon
so.
Cowell's first thing. Was
X
X
Factor?
Factor?
No, American Idol was. I thought.
No, he had X Factor, and he's never been on. He's never been on American Idol. He's never been on.
Simon Cowell?
Yeah.
Or no,
Yes,
he
he
was.
was. He was on
and
it
then
for like
he started X Factor,
Yeah, he started.
And then
X Factor came
now-
out. American
now-
Idol was the OG.
and now he's got Talent, right?
yeah, he's on
Yeah, I think
America's
he
Got
owns
Talent.
like all of them. Doesn't
I'm-
he? Or
Well,
like,
X Factor, I don't
don't
think's
know.
around anymore. I don't think,
that is.
but it's just turned into America's Got Talent, didn't it?
No, they're both separate entities. They're both still running.
Oh, I didn't think X Factor was still
Yeah, because
I thought it was American Idol, Voice.
no.
and America's Got Talent.
But I don't think
Oh, wait.
Simon Cowell wasn't
I don't know.
one of the original judges on America's Got Talent.
He was on American Idol. He was
Yeah,
original
American
on,
Idol, I know,
And
but
then-
America's Got
and then he
Talent.
started X Factor.
Wait, was it X Factor? No, The Voice is the one I like.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah,
not
that's
part
the
of The
one,
Voice.
yeah.
So
The
but
Voice
it's
is
America's
different.
Got Talent, Voice, and American Idol right now,
That's
right?
okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Other
remember
than
the
for
X
America's.
Factor. Now I got to
for Amer-
rethink this because I'm not quite sure.
because I like America's Got Talent because it's got multiple things in it. I actually really like. I mean, and it's mostly. I mean, even America's Got Talent is mostly singing or group stuff
I
like
like
that.
I like The Voice a lot. Do you remember that one that hefty guy that sounded like a girl and they all turned around?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
love that
Mhm.
Chandelier. He sang that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Man, that was good.
I do like that
I think he
just for the
won,
premise of
actually.
not knowing
I don't know if
anything
he did.
about the person except their voice, which is what it should be about, like on
Yeah.
American Idol
Speaking
too.
of that,
Even though after that,
we went to Chris Cruzy was playing where we're from.
I know I wanted to go.
and I think I'm not a. I invited you. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
And
He
but
turned
I
us
think
down.
I'm not a big fan of his singing. I don't think he was, but I mean, he had a good story behind it. He is from a small town from where we're from.
I really like his voice.
see,
He
I'm not
does-
a big fan of his.
I like
See-
his higher pitched voice.
Yes.
I like when men sing in like a little higher pitch.
where they can get a
And
higher.
they get
pitch
high,
than-
yeah. I
higher
like that.
octave. If you don't know, he was a runner up on The Voice
Second.
a couple
Wait, is he Baldwin?
seasons ago.
Is he from Baldwin?
No,
he's from
Barron.
Barron.
He's from Barron.
Barron, that's
So
right.
so around here, he was nationally a minor celebrity during that season, but around here he's pretty much a local celebrity.
Yeah.
So he plays at all different events and stuff like that. And there was a different one of the bars here had a fundraiser for a little girl with cancer, and he was like the headliner for that show. And
yeah.
and
For
he puts
Ronald
on a good
McDonald House.
yeah, and it was a really nice event, and there was a couple other more like local bands there. Your brother-in-law played there. It was really good. And I think Chris Cruzy's voice is very good, but I just don't like listening to, like when I go out and listen to a band, I don't care if it's songs I don't know. Like I just don't care to hear
You
it.
want it
If
to be covered.
I want it to be covers
Oh,
that I
so
know,
unless
and I've
it's a
heard.
major person.
Yeah.
That.
And I've
People wanna
heard
sing along. they
right,
wanna-
exactly. They
and
want to
you're
enjoy.
like, well,
they
how
want
do I
to
sing
shake a
this?
tambourine and enjoy it. You
Yeah.
know?
You're not.
Tambourines.
Yeah. Kelly has a humongous bruise from shaking the tambourine and hitting her thigh with it. But no, like I mean,
Classic.
I
Mhm.
mean, if I had, because like him, I mean, you'll probably forget because a lot of the runner ups are forgotten. Who was the one? So Ruben Studdard won the first American Idol, and Clay Aiken, but he got bigger than Ruben Studdard did, I think. But did Kelly?
Kelly Clarkson was the first
Well, she
one.
was number one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Well,
she was
Ruben
the first
Studdard
one?
won number two.
right. I was
Okay.
gonna say
And Clay Aiken was a runner-up.
there's a
right?
couple seasons where the runner up or the third person ended up being
What's that
more
bi-
famous.
Was Carrie
Right.
Underwood? Did she win it, or did
she
she
won
get
one of them.
Yeah,
did
but
get
she
second?
was a few.
She won it.
Oh,
She might have actually been second. No, she won it.
Because
didn't
there was
she?
one there was a second place person that got pretty big.
She was on season 4.
My favorite is, a lot of people won't know this, but it was on X Factor, and my favorite audition is there was 2 that season. One sang Whitney Houston, this black girl who sang Whitney Houston, and it was like phenomenal.
Mhm.
And then there was a guy named Chris Renee who sang Young Homie, which was his original.
yeah, I remember that.
And that's like one of my
That one
that
got
one-
tons of hits on
yeah,
YouTube.
and it was because it was a song that you could pick up really quick.
Was it Young Homie or Little Homie?
Young Homie.
Young Homie?
And
Oh,
but
that's
also
that one you
also
play
there
all
was
the
one
time?
on British Got Talent, I think. His sister went before him, and it's in Callum, and he
Yeah.
sang I can't remember
Yeah,
what song,
he's like a star now.
but that song he sang was amazing. But the hard thing for that one was his sister
was
went
it
right
Brian
before him.
Callum?
No, it was Callum
I
something.
was
I
his
think.
first name.
But he sang right after his sister went, and his sister failed.
She failed.
And then he got the golden buzzer. So like,
Oh, that's kind of a
yeah.
sibling
you
rivalry.
guys remember Alex and Sierra?
No.
What did he sing? I'd have to.
They sang Britney Spears' "Toxic."
Really?
They duoed it. They won. I'm pretty sure that's like
On
couple-
X
few
Factor?
seasons ago.
I'm trying. I think
Oh,
I know
who
what
knows?
one you
See,
were
they
talking
really
watch
good.
all of these different clips and know all these people. I have no idea.
Well, every time they're pulled up, like if we were pulling them up left and right,
Oh, yeah.
be like, oh yeah, I remember that, or
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, there was like one that I loved that it was 2 Subway guys or two brothers that were from like New York or something, and I think they were sub workers, like made subs, and their range and the how deep they could get and high they could get was just amazing, you know. And then there was that dancer that did that. He literally went on his back and then came back up. He won America's Got Talent a few years ago. I think it was like Kimichi or something like that. He got shot and went back on his back and then pulled himself up like with his feet.
Kind of like a Michael Jackson move. Like,
he literally fell all the way backwards.
Yeah.
And then was on his
I know
back.
about.
And he pulled himself all the way up.
The break dancer.
Yeah, it was a break dance. You know, he said I started with the Running Man. And everybody's like, oh, this is going to be horrible. I mean, you look at Susan Boyle. They were like,
that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, like, oh wow, she's going to be horrible.
I don't like her at all.
But now, but now, do you see though? Everybody tries to do a shock factor. So like, if they're a rock singer, they'll start like, hey, I'm starting opera.
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden people are like, this isn't that great. And then all of a sudden it breaks into something else.
I mean, back to what I said before. Yes, it has to have some type of a shock factor. There has to be some type of a sad or emotional story. If you don't have that, you are not going to go far. And that goes for any single type of reality TV show. We talked about that last time on The Bachelor when we talked about that. Like every single person on there, if you're just a happy-go-lucky person, there's nothing really going wrong in your life, you're going to get kicked off because you're not interesting.
How many?
Make it interesting. There's
why?
a young
You
black
shouldn't have
kid,
to
I can't
make it
remember.
up.
And no, but okay. For example, he had a great life. I wish I could remember his damn name. This is gonna sound so
I forget
stupid.
a bunch of their names.
But he's a young black man, looks good. He says he has a great life. He says all these super positive things. And at the end, they're like, why do you want to do this? He's like, I just want to put the biggest footprint in this earth I can before I leave.
Oh, I remember
Why can't
that.
you say shit like that?
Yeah,
That's
I remember.
upbeat. Everyone just loved the
With, like,
audience.
hap-
It's going
See, that's
crazy.
fine.
With, like,
I like
happiness and
that.
stuff.
Yeah,
like
before he even started.
See, the thing is, I think, and I like stuff like that better because I think everybody has some type of negativity in their life, and you always, you know, and I think a lot of them either make up their story or overemphasize their story. Because if I said something happened to me when I was younger, and, you know, whether like, oh, my dad left or, you know, or something like that, or dad passed away, or, you know, a lot of times they're not going to go prove that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if your dad didn't impact you at all and they just left and you were like, okay, yeah, what's the deepest story I can get so people have an emotional tie to it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. And once they get that emotional tie, like, what was that guy on America's Got Talent? He's blind and he's autistic. He was a singer that just won.
Oh, was it
something Lee?
I don't remember his name.
But like, I mean, he has that emotional tie to people. Or like,
well,
this guy's
I guess there's a difference where it's still an emotional story that they have, but there is a difference when it's emotional in a negative way or if it's inspiring.
Yeah. You know, I
think inspiring trumps
me too.
Emotion at 9 times.
Me too. Like inspiring
is everything.
more than a sob story.
Yeah.
I hate those people that come out in their dicks though.
Yeah, there's a difference between like inspirational and cocky.
You know, and one of my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and this, I mean, is Puff the Magic
No, Piff. It was Piff. Yeah.
And then his dog's something. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Piff the
He
Magic
was just
Dragon.
weird.
Yeah, Mr. Sprinkles. I mean, because he was
He was
awesome.
But it was like a funny cocky.
And nobody knew right away.
Yeah, it was
because
awesome.
he comes out and they're like, what are you? Well, what do you think I am,
Yeah.
Heidi? I'm
But
a
that was-
Magic Dragon
Yeah,
Heidi.
right,
Come
right.
on.
Yeah,
that was part of his
persona.
Well, yeah, part of his.
And once
skit,
they started
his,
once they started picking up on it,
yeah,
they're like,
It's
oh, this
funny.
guy's pretty funny.
Yeah,
he's
done. He's
sarcastic.
eating a
He's
banana.
funny.
Yeah.
And it's weird that people pay to go see him. You know,
Yeah.
but he had. I don't know if he's still there, but he had his own show.
No, he's still in Vegas. I think.
and we almost got. We looked up tickets to
We
go
shoulda
see
went.
him.
We should have went.
We probably should have because they were pretty cheap
we were
tickets.
looking. I think it just happened to be like the same time our show. Because the thing with Vegas shows is they're only so many times throughout the thing.
Well, there's like a 7:30 show and like a 9:30 show every night.
Yeah, I mean we have a Vegas story, but there was so before when I went there though, there's Carrot Top, you know, out there. There was like I asked the woman, I go, how, you know, does Carrot Top still sell pretty well? Or she goes, he sold out every night. I go, what? Like, I mean, the auditorium isn't that big. Like it's not a major, show. I mean, probably on some of them they probably fit.
Well, I mean,
60
I'm
people,
sure
but-
there's a lot bigger ones than the one we went to.
They are
I feel like that's
Well,
a
that one
smaller
was bigger than the one that I went to. Like I went to that before I went to that fantasy girl show or whatever.
Right.
And where they're topless dancers and it's like a classy show. That was way smaller than what we went to.
Oh, really?
Austin,
And-
was that your first time in Vegas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
first
So all of the shows I've ever been to there, the what did we go see? Zoomanity.
Zoomanity,
That was like
yeah.
the biggest auditorium that I've
Me
Oh,
too.
really?
Me
been
too.
in. Yeah.
I was underwhelmed at the size.
No, that's the thing about Vegas. It's great to see shows there because there's no bad tickets. There's no bad seats. Like you can
And
pay
that's
to
why
be up in
seats
the
are a little
balcony.
bit more expensive, but
Right, and it's Vegas, but like
Yeah.
you can be, oh man, I'm up in the balcony and it's like, wow, I'm really close.
do
Like
you remember?
It was, what was awesome about that show? I don't know if this is politically the little person
oh yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
when he
was awesome. Yeah.
he was the best part of the whole
Yeah,
show.
flying up in the air.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so he would
yeah.
there's a huge rope coming down, like one of those cloth.
Yeah,
what are
that you
those
tie your
called?
arm in. And
You know what I
stuff.
mean? Where people spin
Yeah.
down and stuff.
An
But he'd
aerial.
grab it with one arm,
Yeah.
Right.
and he'd run fast as he can off that stage,
And be over
literally
top
be
of
like
you.
6 feet
Yeah,
ahead
yeah.
of you, like
Right.
flying around.
So-
It was so awesome.
When we went out, we took a trip. We've mentioned it before, but the three of us and then their friend Cole met us out
Oh, he's
there.
not your friend?
Well, I had just met. That was the first time I
Well,
met
since
him.
we just name
Okay.
dropped him, I guess we
Okay.
can't tell the story.
Oh, okay. But we
We'll
went
tell
out
the
there.
full story after
We went
this.
out there this past June, and it was fun. We just kind of having a friends trip, and the guys were going to gamble. We were going to eat some good food and see some shows and stuff like that. And it was just a fun time. So we went. We had tickets to 2 shows or just the
No,
one.
just one.
Just one.
So Zoomanity
And
is
then
one
we
of
went
the
to a steakhouse and
right.
yeah.
So Zoomanity is one of the Cirque du Soleil shows, and I've seen like the original Cirque du Soleil before,
I've never seen one
Mystère,
before.
and they had not seen him before, and it's just like the awe, like you're just in awe of the crazy
The
talent that these
acrobatics.
acrobats have. It's amazing, but on all different levels. But the one we went to see is like the R-rated one. It's
Topless, naked, sexy.
all sorts of
was
stuff.
awesome.
Very, I
Yeah.
mean, like if you
But still classy. I mean, still
right,
classy.
you did have to be.
It's not like they're doing like hardcore like porn stuff.
No,
It's just
no, and that's the thing is like if you
They're
go
painted
into
too,
it
and-
and you understand
And they
what
make
it
it a
is,
joke. They make a
and
joke
they
out of
make,
sex.
Right, they make it funny, they make it this and that. But if you go in and I mean, just like the beauty of what they're doing and the
How do you
talent that
compare
it
it
takes.
to the other show or the other one you went to? The other Cirque du Soleil?
Mystère, yeah. I guess I found this more entertaining one because of the like sex factors kind of
Yeah.
they make it so funny, but then
exciting
it's,
too.
It's about like stuff that is forbidden to talk about,
right.
but they make it
and
classy
that's the whole
funny.
show.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. Classy is a good word.
okay.
But
I
how
wouldn't say class.
For
It's-
sex,
it's more like,
for sex wise though, they make it class. I mean,
I don't
obviously
know.
there's some parts.
It's like
that,
you mean like appropriately naked or however you want to
I
call
mean,
it.
they do have
Tastefully.
you know, like, tastefully.
Tastefully
Yeah, I
naked,
guess.
yeah.
Better,
So it's not like they're I get that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's not like a classy thing. It's like,
No, and there were, I mean, and you have to be old enough. It literally was R-rated. You had to be
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
enough to go. But then also, like, you have to go into it with the mindset of understanding what you're going to see. Like, when they say it is R-rated or whatever rated, like, you need to understand that. Like, we saw a couple, like, I saw 2 different couples at different times get up that were clearly offended and left.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Obviously, that's your choice. But I think it's pretty clear what you're getting when you go to that I'm not sure why they bought tickets.
See,
But
yeah.
And I've went to Fantasy. So Fantasy, I think, is probably. I mean, they probably have some other like topless but that one was a topless comedy. So it's that area, that auditorium or whatever you want to call it, was probably half the size of what we were at. So, and it was darker. You know, there's probably 60 some seats, 70 some seats in where I was at, and that probably had 100 and some where the Cirque du Soleil was. But like that one, I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, they're doing certain things that, yeah, I mean, you can get offended, but it's a comedy show. Like, you know what I mean? So you got to go in with the mindset that they might make fun of you, or they might, because they try to interact with the fans, because
I already had it in my head. If they're gonna ask me to do anything, I was gonna tell them you can fuck off.
really, you weren't gonna do it?
Nope.
Aw.
No way in hell.
So part
You
of
gotta
the
be a
part of
trooper.
the Vegas trip was Callie got called up on the stage
That was
for
pretty,
this
that was pretty exciting.
during
though.
the Zumanities
during the
show.
Zumanities show.
Yeah.
And
They were using
I'll
a
let her
lot
tell
of
it, though.
well they were I'm just like throughout the whole show, like there were two MCs or like the what's
Yeah.
the
A guy
leaders
and a
of the
girl.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they would come out in between each act and they'd be the funny. They were kind of like dressed in like 80s workout,
something
like
different every
kind
time.
of like
though,
they were
Yeah,
supposed
like
to look.
one was in Windbreakers, the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like, you know, and clearly like the swingers attitude kind of thing.
Yep,
And they're
yep.
going through the crowd and like in people's faces and dancing on people and pulling people up and doing all these things. And it was funny. But then they were coming up in the crowd and we had real good seats up close. And she looked right at me and she grabbed my hand and then led me up on stage. And
They don't really ask. They just grab you
they
and
just
say,
do. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was fun.
I think there's a real heavy set girl walking around giving out
She gave
cut
me
up
a strawberry.
Oh,
She gave
in
me
her
a
little
strawberry.
French maid's
Yeah.
costume and
Yeah.
like putting her
Putting her
boobs,
boobs
up
in
in
and she was
people's face.
big.
Yeah.
Like, real big.
So Callie, tell what
Mhm.
happened during your clip.
You tell it.
Okay, so Callie gets called up, and I mean, so the week before I proposed to Callie.
Like days before.
Yeah. So like I was gonna do it out there, but I'm like, it's Vegas. But it would give me a good reason to go back to Vegas all the time because I actually really like Vegas for the food, the shows, the gambling. Like I really like it out there. So she gets drawn up there, and Callie just has this look that you can tell that they were sort of gonna pick her out. Like she has this. Oh, I'm an innocent person. Like, but. So then I think they sort of pick that out like, hey.
I think they do too.
Yeah,
they
like
prey on the weak.
Yeah. And so they come and take her up there and there's a bed up there. And then they grabbed another guy that was with his wife and lay him down on the bed.
Well, first they did like a dancey thing.
Yeah. And they had to dance and stuff. And then they have to lay down on the bed. And then Callie has to straddle him. And then Callie's wearing a dress and she's nervous that people are going to see up her
It was
up
a
her
nice
skirt.
little like sundress, but you know how like when you're moving and bending.
Yeah, so when your legs spread on top
Yeah.
of someone and you're wearing a dress, what happens to that dress? Is
Yeah.
it slowly
And
rises.
there's,
Which
100
it
and
didn't,
some
but I was
people-
just nervous.
And there's 100 and some people in there, and you're showing your butt, or you're
I
showing,
think there's more than that.
to some. So then all of a sudden they go down afterwards, like the floor lowers.
Yeah, which was really cool.
And then they throw up
That's cool.
white stuff, acting like it was a
Oh,
sex
see,
thing.
I didn't see
She didn't see
that,
that, but then
no.
she went under. And didn't you say the guy goes, "Oh, my wife's gonna kill me" or something?
Well, he
like
was
that?
nervous his wife would be mad. And like I feel like I was a good sport. Like I wasn't like embarrassed or nervous or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's a weird like position to be in because they're making you do all these
Stuff
weird
that you wouldn't do
things,
normally. Yeah.
uncomfortable things,
Yeah.
and like, I don't care. I knew that you were fine. It was like,
that stuff doesn't.
yeah,
matter.
like, so, but it's weird. Like I was like second guessing myself. Like, yeah, I'll go along and do this. And I'm like, or is the little skit like, I'm supposed to say no and I'm like doing it now and I shouldn't be, but
overthinking it 100 times.
yeah. But it was really cool, like to go. So like it was that like false floor that goes down and on a big like elevator basically.
Yeah,
And then
it was really awesome.
then you're underneath the stage and it's backstage and right away there's people that pull you off and walk you backstage.
What's it
and
like down there? Is like a set? Like
that's
there's
what was so
props
cool.
and everything,
All
or-
those performers were down there and
chilling, hanging
well,
out?
like, like waiting
ready
for
for their
their
next
yeah.
song.
And so like there's somebody like a stage crew person literally right as we were wasn't even landed yet and grabbing us off of there and like ushering us through there. And then we go to an elevator and it brings us up and then we're literally backstage like behind a curtain and we had to wait there until that act was done because that's when that
mid
the
started going.
the
yeah,
little person
Wow.
was doing that swinging around and so like you can't distract them, you know. So then we could go back to our seats when
because
that
I
was
thought
done.
you were gonna miss it, but then I saw you come in. I could see you in the door.
That's what I was saying.
I
too. I'm
mean-
like, gosh, she's missing the
Yeah,
best part.
yeah, and
Not
that's-
that your part wasn't the best, but
Right,
I mean
yeah.
the best like show part. It was pretty.
Yeah,
it
she was
awesome.
up there shaking her booty and stuff.
Yeah, she's
like-
twerking on this guy like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, what are you doing?
No, I
so I'm
was
giving him a
not.
But
show.
the nice thing was that they do give you a picture.
Yeah,
They
that
give her-
was nice.
And we saw
And
the
he
people.
was a very nice guy.
We saw the people when we were leaving, and
Walking
he's like,
out.
and we said hey and stuff, and his wife didn't care either, like,
Yeah,
because
she
it's
was
like
a good
you got to go to, like we were saying, you got to go to that show and be like, hey, we're in the mind. Like if they would have took somebody that was offended up there, they would have been like pissed off that they had to go do
Right.
that, and it's like the point of going to Vegas is to have fun.
Right.
You know, and if you can't have fun when you go out there, there's no point in going to Vegas.
Right.
And we planned those tickets because we got half off on stuff anyways. So we planned those tickets. But when we were setting them up, it did make it seem like the auditorium was way bigger than it was actually going to be.
Actually, it's funny. Me and Kellen actually played this. We prepped. He already played this little
I had a
game
ton
on
of
his phone
points. I had
for
a ton of
gambling. And he's like, you got to do this, man. And eventually, because
Yeah.
obviously I play games anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, so let's sit there and I play these games. And eventually we got enough points where we can get like half off shows, half off food.
Yeah, it's like my Vegas.
We literally saved like probably a couple $100.
It's my
Oh, yeah,
Vegas
for sure.
or whatever. So the
Yeah.
game is, and then I told you because you had it before, but you never really
Yeah,
played it.
I just- it
and I had a
wasn't-
ton
yeah.
of points because my cousin always told me about it.
Yeah.
But then, so you got the half off of the show. I got the half off of the show
And then
for
we got
VIP.
we had some extra. We got food and stuff. I
Food,
believe.
yeah, buffets and
Yep.
stuff. But then I had half off at a steakhouse. I mean, the steakhouse wasn't the best one, but it was still because it's all through, I think, MGM stuff or whatever.
Yours
like
was
that.
through MGM.
Yeah, so it's all but it's nice to have because
Yeah.
it's
Right.
like here, you know, and I think it costs us. So I mean, like our trip out to Vegas was like for hotel and flight, I think was $200 a person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally like
You know, for
almost
round
nothing.
trip
Like if
for
you
3
want a
nights.
cheap, if you want a place where you can just spend the money when you're there, just go to Vegas. Flights are so cheap,
Well, and
especially if you get them way ahead of time. Get them in odd times.
yeah, I mean, ours
so
was
cheap.
only probably a couple weeks before it even because it was like, you know, the thing about it was Vegas is one of the few places you can go see great shows. You can get the top cuisine in the world, you know, from all over the world, Japanese, beef, steak, you know, like Korean, whatever you want, like you can get it there, Italian. And I mean, the big thing is, and then you can go gamble. And I mean, then you can do other stuff like,
And to give everyone a little value, make sure you wear a really comfortable shoe.
yeah, you were.
I was
you
wearing
were
those Hey
so-
Dudes that I was wearing like pretty much like last week. I had blisters all over my feet. It was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, so to get in, I mean, to the deep part of our Vegas trip was, so there was a night. Was it after that show? I think it was after that show.
Oh,
I think it was.
I believe so.
And
Yeah.
then, you know, okay, Vegas is a drinking and a party in town. I mean, it's, you know, that's what
because
it
we
is.
went to the early show, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we're out there. I'm not a partier, so I don't care. I'd rather go to shows, eat, and then gamble because I like gambling. But then it's like, you know, I'll go to bed. Like I think I was but Austin, we stopped at CVS because that's the only place his card or Walgreens, whatever it was.
yeah.
It's the only place his card would work
So stupid.
for some reason.
Oh, right.
But it was actually worked out the best because it was the cheapest exchange
Yeah,
rate.
it turned out the ATM was like super cheap.
Yeah,
there.
the
It
service
worked out
fee was way
awesome, yeah.
cheaper.
But we just wanted to buy like a bottle.
Yeah, buy
Yeah.
a bottle of
Room.
booze and
Yeah, and so then we get back, and Callie's thinking, "Oh, this will last us a
But
couple
we get
nights."
Sky. We got a bottle
Or
of
Sky, yeah, and this will last us a couple nights. Austin pours like a third of it in each of person between
Oh,
her.
what do you think?
Cole
No,
and his,
mine was a normal one, and then
then
literally,
they took the rest.
they- and I was like, "Oh, sweet, you know, we'll like have a few drinks tonight, and we'll finish the bottle tomorrow," and it was gone
and then
with one round of drinks,
and then they went out,
which
well,
ended poorly for those two.
Austin and Cole went out.
well, we're not gonna say the Cole story because you can't tell us his name and then say that's kind of story.
Yeah, no.
No,
we-
But I'll tell him my story.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can
I
tell.
forgot
Mine,
you-
mine was just as good.
I
trust
was
me.
gonna
we
say,
can
I
tell them
forgot he
certain
had a story,
particles. We
too.
can't.
Yeah,
tell
I'm
them
not.
all.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that to him. But yeah, we got really drunk. We're gambling all night. I don't know what time this was. It must
Did
have been.
we like had that?
Well,
we
we
made
went to
those
bed-
drinks up in the room, and then did we
Well,
all
we'll-
go
we'll say-
downstairs?
We'll say 7 p.m. We had them in the room. Something like that.
Oh, because the show we probably 9 o'clock.
Okay,
Yeah.
9
Yeah.
p.m. Sure.
Right.
And we're just I'm just getting started at this point. 9 p.m.
Can I just have
go
an
ahead.
anecdote that
Yeah.
you had not been drinking in a long time?
Yeah. So
Austin doesn't drink.
I
that
don't
often.
really drink anymore. I used to drink a lot when I was young, partied a lot. I just no particular reason. I just don't anymore.
grew
I don't
it?
find it fun. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But obviously I'm going to Vegas. I'm gonna drink, and so we drank that bottle between the three of us, which was good. I don't think I was feeling it yet. Still, I think I was all right. But anyway, me and Cole went down. I don't know what time we ended up back, but we ended up.
You got back at about
Well,
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cole went his own path and did his own thing. But so I don't ever do drugs. So might I add you, I don't know what it's like. I was so just hammered. I mean, hammered to the point where like Didn't know what was going on. Some guy I noticed was smoking weed in one of the, not the main road, but off the side, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, man, give you $20, you split that with me.
And remember,
it's not like he was a good-looking dude.
it's just
He was
Austin and
shady,
Cole.
man.
It's just Austin and Cole.
It's just
Callie
us
and I
two.
were in
I'm
bed.
surprised I
we,
didn't die.
we didn't leave. They went down to gamble, and after I had that,
Yeah,
one
so I
drink,
hung
went
out
to
with
bed.
this stranger that was probably, I don't know. I don't know.
We'll
less
never
less
know.
than
Cole said you made friends with him.
I don't know. No, that was his friend.
Oh, his friend?
I have like 20 mini stories in this night. I could tell you. It was an eventful night. But anyway, I ended up smoking weed.
And a cigar.
Cigar. I smoke cigars anyway. But I remember I just walked with this guy for a while. And I was pretty fucked up. And I don't know what happened, but I ended up I walked away from him. And I remember thinking, like, I'm fucked. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And there's this little voice. I don't know. I'm so hammered to the point where, and whatever I was, whatever, you know what I mean? There's this, I'm still perfectly conscious. I have this voice in my head, and I can still remember it. The most sober voice you ever hear. And he's saying, I don't know what you're going to do or how you're going to get home. You're going to fucking jail.
Oh, jeez.
And this
All because you smoked weed?
all because I'm so drunk, fucking high as a kite. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm literally thinking about getting on all fours and trying to crawl home at this point.
But where were you?
I don't know.
Didn't you take a car
Somewhere on the
somewhere?
strip.
Oh, the limo.
Yeah,
God
you
damn,
got
this
in a
eventful
limo
night.
with the guy,
okay,
right?
so this was after that. I'm kind of just fast forward to when I was going to meet you guys in the hotel. But yeah, before that.
But you ended up far away.
Yeah, we went to a strip club
Yeah.
on some.
That's where you and Cole got
Way
separated.
Then I had to take a
Yes.
taxi back
Because
he
Cole
felt
went to
bad
the
for me.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I feel like you should kind of go.
Okay,
yeah,
we're gonna rewind it here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get back to the little head. So yeah, me and Cole obviously we were pretty drunk at this point, and this is before I smoked weed or anything. This guy comes up to us, like, "Hey man, we got a limo here. We'll take you out to the strip club." And I'm like, "Oh, boy, don't sound good, man." Cole's like, "Yeah, let's go," or whatever. Okay, so we got in this limousine, and I'm sitting in the limousine noticing, like, hey, it's taking a while to get to where we're going. I feel like we're not in Vegas anymore.
Right.
That's how long this took. So we got into the strip club that looked like, holy moly, not like a strip club I've ever seen.
Was it like two
In
Huge
which way?
bouncers, kind of shady. Yeah, there's a
Oh.
balcony. Felt like, okay, I'm going to try to paint a picture. Felt like it was all cement, like it would be like Dracula's home.
Okay.
It's kind of how it
Not
felt to me.
welcoming. Very
Yeah.
dungeony.
And then there was these strippers/hookers/bitches that would come and just jump on you.
Yeah, try to get
and
your
try to get
attention
you
right-
upstairs and
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And anyway, I'm pretty drunk at this point. And I noticed Cole's gone and the stripper's gone. I'm like, God damn it, Cole. I'm so fucking pissed he left me alone at this point. I'm like, he's up there banging some chick probably. I'm fucking going home. I was mad. I even left him a text going, hey, go fuck yourself. Whatever it was, you know what I mean? And so I just left. And I'm walking in the distance, and this is probably like miles away. I see all these lights for Vegas, and I start walking. I have no idea where the hell I'm at, but I'm walking towards what clearly is the strip.
Yeah, yeah.
And, well, turns out Cole just went to the bathroom.
Yeah, and that's
And
where,
I left him
and then
there.
he- and then
'cause
he
he's
thought-
like,
Way to go.
and I thought this whole time he took a hooker up, and I was about to do that. But it just turns out he went to the bathroom, and then he just ended up the night just partying or whatever. And, yeah, so here I am on the walk home. Literally, a taxi pulled over because he's worried about my health and well-being. He said, dude, listen, get in this car. I'm going to take you back to the strip. You shouldn't be out here right now. And I'm like, whatever. Whatever. But, yeah, that was very
and
interesting.
then he gets back to the hotel. And
Okay,
maybe-
so
Yeah.
the little head's fast forward back to the little head.
Oh yeah.
And the only reason I emphasize this so much is it was so clear as day. I was so fucked up.
You were
This voice was so
your
clear.
subconscious was just telling
Subconscious
you.
knew what the hell was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on. And I remember just my voice telling myself, like, you're fucked and just you're never going to make it.
It's
and
all over.
basically, it's like I'm going to jail. And I don't even know if Vegas cops care or not, but
Probably
in my
not.
head, I was
Probably
like,
not.
this is my greatness. is over.
Prostitution's legal out there, so I don't think they're gonna care about.
Yeah. So anyway, somehow miraculously, I make this trip back to the hotel room, and
From a nice taxi guy.
from a very nice taxi
And he
guy.
didn't charge you even, right?
He didn't want to, but I
Yeah,
remember
gave
giving
him
him money
money.
because I
You
felt
said you gave him like $20 or something.
so. Yeah. Anyway, do you guys ever see the movie The Exorcist?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know when that girl pukes straight out.
Oh, right.
It's like what do they call that?
Projectile.
A projectile, like a straight out. Well, I made it to the door, and right when this hotel door opened,
Oh, God.
no,
you made it
and
to
then I
the
made it to the bathroom.
No, you laid
right?
down. No,
Did I?
you came in.
You came in
So
and laid
Callie and
down.
I laid down. I thought
you
it
were
was a little
sleeping.
bit
It was
over.
probably about. So
You made
I
it
did
to the
make it to
bed
the
for a
bed.
while.
So
yeah.
I'll tell you that part because you probably came in. Well, it was probably around 5.
I think it was around 5. Yeah.
So you came in. We're like, what? Where were you? Like, you all right? Where were you? And you're like, ugh, like you should tell you were drunk. Like, and we're like, and then you're like, yeah, I tried weed or whatever.
Yeah.
And you sort of told us the story, like what happened, like, and then you were like, I don't know where the hell Cole is. And so I'm like, oh, well, great. This is, you guys went out together now. And so you sort of told your story. Then you fell asleep.
And I'm kind of freaking out. I was like, Kellen, you need to call Cole. Like, we got to find it's 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Where is he?
And so then about 6:30, about 30 minutes after you fell asleep, all of a sudden I hear,
That's right.
I was like, oh, because I'm a light sleeper anyways. And it's like 8, and I'm like, oh, frick. Then all of a sudden you see Austin run and he gets to the door and and you could just hear it get in the bathroom. And then it's like,
you start to smell
and he was still like somewhat conscious. So he like, you can
said
hear
sorry
him. So
and
yeah,
like-
he's like puking. He's saying sorry because he puked all over the bathroom and he's trying to clean it up. Like
He's just
he didn't
making a
puke in
bigger mess.
He made it. He puked. He tried to puke in the sink.
Yeah.
Not in the toilet. And it went all over the place. So like
remember that.
the next morning, I was like trying to clean it up.
it
Like
was
my
the same
yeah,
morning.
Bad,
yeah. And
bad.
I was like, and there's
I
puke.
tried my. I remember I was so drunk.
No.
I tried my best.
But
You
you know-
tried to clean it up, but you just made a
you
bigger
know. Well,
mess.
it was okay. It was a little bit more than. It was like, like it was spraying
Spurting
out a
out.
little bit. Like he's trying to hold it in, but like his mouth was so full that he couldn't hold it in. And so then Cole gets in around 7, and we asked him what happened. But there's obviously a lot more to
He's
his
got
story.
his own side of the story.
Yeah.
He had a crazy wild night, you
These
know?
two live sort of the hangover
Right.
of what
Time.
I mean, at least they got back to the hotel
I'm
room.
glad everybody was safe.
But
Yeah.
it was. I mean,
we
it
were
was,
bumps on a log. We were probably in
But
bed
the next
sleeping
morning,
by
Cole,
10:30.
we were all supposed to go to Hell's Kitchen for lunch the next day.
Yeah.
This is a
And-
big place.
Yeah, and
And
it was
like literally my only thing I was super duper excited
Yeah.
about. I was like, this is gonna be the best
because
thing of the trip.
we wanted beef Wellington.
I
Like,
love
that
Gordon
was-
Ramsay.
we wanted beef Wellington, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go there and get it. And I asked Austin, I go, hey, do you want to go? He's like,
Mind you, this
no,
is a few hours
no.
after they got
I'm not
back.
eating.
Our thing was like at
This
11 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
Cole's just totally passed
Yeah,
out.
he's not awake.
So he's not. So we go eat, and then Austin and then we come back, and Austin wakes up, and we go gamble, and then Cole comes down and is like, right before he has to get his sports bets in, and he's like, he looked rough. Yeah, I mean, it was
He
One
wanted
eye's
us,
like
he
this.
stayed in the
he wanted us to wake him up just in time for him to be able to go.
He's
make
big
that
into sports
bet.
betting. Yeah.
yeah, and so, but I forgot to start that day off, or was that day when you guys had those endless mimosas?
No, that was a
man.
different. That was
Okay,
That was worth it.
he got drunk.
It
he-
might have been that morning.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but
He
that
got
money
drunk.
was worth it.
He got drunk on
That
the endless
was.
mimosas. He was
Endless
slamming them.
I was
Okay.
drunk in the morning.
I will. This will be my little tip, my little Vegas tip. I'm a big brunch person. Love some breakfast food. You throw in some lunch food, best thing ever. So I love, and obviously buffets, right? And Vegas is known for their buffets. You can go to a very, very, very nice, but expensive supper buffet anywhere, and obviously like the more fancy places like Caesar's Palace, the Venetian, those
Yeah,
places
all
are
of them
going to
have
have
their own buffets.
those big ones, right?
Yep.
Well, I wanted a brunch buffet, and it's half the price, and you get like some of the same food. They had prime rib, they had all those things.
A whole humongous
really good
selection.
stuff.
Right.
Humongous
So
selection.
I asked like our concierge, and I was like, what's like a decent priced but still really good food around here? And we stay at the Flamingo when we go, and so that's where we were. And he said Harrah's, which is right next door. So we went. It was like $35 or whatever for brunch. Such good food, everything you could want for $4. Endless mimosas.
Endless mimosas.
And it is not like, oh, they don't come
They
around
refill 'em
again.
a
They
lot.
were on top of that.
Yeah, I was
like,
very pleased.
boom.
And Austin didn't even know what they were really.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I never had a mimosa.
He didn't know they were
I was like, oh, I
champagne
don't
and
like
stuff.
champagne.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
he's
for
like,
$4, you know.
and
$4
he's-
I'll try anything.
He's slamming them, and you could just tell he was starting to
I was
feel
feeling good.
Yeah. That
like
was-
he's like, oh, this is worth it. Like,
Yeah,
this is,
$4. I'm
you know,
$100.
and they
Well-
made a pretty good ratio. Like, I mean, it wasn't.
I would say it was on the weaker side, but the amount that they give you is just like
I mean,
doesn't
she
matter.
was just sitting there filling.
I
them.
mean, literally, to be able to get any drink for $4 in Vegas, I paid $30 for a drink later that day.
Yeah.
Twice
I'm
you
not
bought
proud
that
to
drink.
admit it, but like I was like, yeah, and it was great. And you could sit there all day and drink those. It was great.
But
So that is my little plug for Harrah's
Yep.
brunch buffet.
Brunch buffet. I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll agree with that 100%.
You know, like, because I want to go to Wolfgang Puck's next time we're out there, like, cut, because that's one of the best steakhouses you can go to.
For steakhouses, yeah.
You know, and I mean, that's why I love going out there is because of that stuff. I mean, you have that. I mean, but like, you can even do free entertainment out there, like dueling pianos was out there.
that was
playing.
all, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
I
pretty-
like that
was
kind of
pretty good.
stuff.
I mean,
It's slightly interactive and
yeah, I mean, we had a lot of fun. And it's nice when you can have a lot of fun because I like going in trips in groups of people. Like when you have, and so Austin, Cole, and I, we all grew up together. So we've known each other forever. So we're very honest with each other.
Yeah,
We
we
can
was-
do whatever the hell. Like if Callie and I wanted to go do something, him and Cole would go do something. Or if we wanted to do something, like Callie went ziplining by herself. You know, we just waited for her and stuff like that. I mean, but to go out there and have all that fun for $200 for 3 nights and a round trip, I mean, it's hard to beat. I mean, that's the thing about it, and it's
let's all give our final thoughts on Vegas. Okay. And then we'll move on. I think it's so my final thoughts for Vegas. If we ever did it again, I would put a lot more time into more shows.
Yeah.
More food.
Yeah.
I think I'm good on the partying.
You did the party thing, so you got
I think
that
I'm
out
good
of
on the
your way.
partying, but I
Yeah.
do it at least once. Cause
There you
trouble
go.
at least one time, and then you're good. Because what I found was I can spend $5,000 at a casino a night very easily.
Oh, you can. Yeah.
So
you can easily do it.
unless you're doing like minimum bet stuff, which is not very fun for me.
No.
I really only need one good night of gambling, and I'm good, and it's out of my system. So my final thoughts are more shows, more food, less gambling, less partying.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So my thing is, I think I don't like going over 3 nights because it gets to be
Yeah,
pretty long.
For
I mean,
sure.
On our way home, I remember thinking,
Yeah.
like, I'm glad we didn't go another
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like my thing is, I want to be out there long enough. So 3 nights is about perfect for me. You know, my thing is I like gambling. That's what I would do most of the time. I couldn't get ahead at all when we went gambling, but food and shows are why I love going out there because it's quick to get out there, cheap, and you can go to some of the best shows and food. You know, if it was up to me, I go to Vegas every year because because I said
Vegas doesn't have to be an expensive trip, might I add. You.
no, not
Vegas
at all.
is a cheap vacation.
You can do
So keep that in
cheap-
mind. It's not.
But it's like the thing with Vegas is you could go 365 times or each day of the year, and there's always something else to do. There's always some other type of food to eat. So for me, it'd be, hey, this, you know, I mean, I go out there a lot, and there's always shows and fights and conventions and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it would be gamble, eat, shows.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I'm not a partier, so that's my takeaway from it. I've been out there 4 times because I like it out there.
I guess my 2 cents about Vegas is I've been there 3 times now, and I like it. I mean, I would definitely keep going, but as much, I guess I'm not as much into it as the guys. Like I like the food, I like the shows, and although it can be a cheap trip, like yes, it's one of those places cheap to get there, cheap to stay there, but everything
That's
you
what they
do
want.
there costs money. And so like where like you could go to a beach and hang out on the beach for free for several hours, you know, and not have to pay for anything at that time. Everything you're doing in Vegas is going to cost money. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
could
true.
continue to just walk the strip and sweat your butt off because
Yeah.
it's 110 degrees. But if you stop in a restaurant, you're eating, and obviously that's
You know-
expensive. If you're gambling, you're doing this. If you're watching a show, everything you do there is pricey, cheap to get there, cheap to stay. And I'm not a gambler. I love the shows. I love the food, but shows and food are mostly nighttime things. And so then what do you do all day? I mean, I tried to go to the pool. And
Let me ask this. Would it be better if you brought a girlfriend with you?
So I've been there on a girls' trip before.
Okay, how'd that go?
That was fun. We didn't gamble. It was one of those things, again, what did we do all day? You know, like during the day, like we don't, like, and it was fun because then I actually got, one night anyway, we did like the nightlife thing. And so I love to dance. I like to go out and stuff like that. So one night we went to a club. But other than that, it's like kind of like, what do you do all day? Because I know like the true Vegas lifestyle is you are out partying till 5, 6 in the morning, and then you are sleeping till the afternoon, and you wake up and do it again. But none of the people I've ever been there with are going to do that. The one night we went out, we were still back by 1 in the morning and woke up at 9.
Well, I mean, what if you found a real truer?
Yeah.
Then would it be cool for you?
I think I would like to experience it that way once, for sure.
Yeah. So would it have been better if you came out with me and Cole versus go to bed early?
For sure would have been interesting.
I think...
I'd like to see those experiences. I'd probably be scared, but like, I don't know. I'd like to see what that is. I'm just saying I like all the things I've done in Vegas, but it's kind of like, for me, sitting around and waiting to do something cool at night to see that show. And then every time I've done that, you see the show, even if it's the 9 o'clock show, you're done by 10:30. And it's like, if you're not with people that are going to go out, then you go back and go to bed.
It's like, it's because like if you go to Miami, it's going to cost you $500-$600 to go stay there and fly out there, you know.
Right, but then I could sit there for free.
So then you can go do, but you're still going to get dinners and stuff like that.
So the drinks are not going to be cheaper. I mean, unless you bring your own. If you sit on a beach,
you're
gonna
go
if you go to Miami, you're gonna be in a town that's expensive. They're gonna know people go there if they see that town. They're still gonna pay $6 a drink.
Yeah.
I think there's no.
You're gonna pay more than that.
You know what I'm getting.
But I mean, my drinks in Vegas were like real expensive. But also this time I did.
You also bought some weird drinks that came in some weird glasses that were clearly going to be really expensive.
Yeah, but I also didn't do like I have when I went with my girlfriends. Like we actually didn't even buy it out there. We brought our own alcohol. We woke up, we hung out in the room and partied and stuff like that. Before we wandered the town to find tickets for things we wanted to go to later that night, which was fine. But it's like I said, it's something I like doing it.
You would want to plan stuff during the day, though. Like,
yeah.
I mean, because there's stuff you can do during the day.
But it's expensive.
Yeah.
But I like it. But is it like my all-time favorite place to go? No. But will I go again? For sure.
Yeah, because it's cheap. It's something you can go do for 3 days. And
I will say, though, if I have another sum of money I put away for vacation, I'd probably go check something else out.
Well, yeah, you still
I think Vegas, to me, honestly, Vegas... I wouldn't even consider it a vacation trip. I'd just be like, I'm going to go to Vegas for a few days. It's not my vacation.
That's seriously what you can do.
But it's like, Vegas exactly. I can get out there for $200. I spend more on that in food in a weekend.
Like, hey, you could
honestly.
One of my trips that I went out to Vegas, it was literally like the week before. Hey, do you want to go out to Vegas? Sure, let's go out. Okay, we booked flights and we went. I mean, that's how Vegas is. It's like
I think of vacation. When I think of vacation, now I think of like, hey, we're gonna go to Australia for a week and really.
Yeah, like 4 to 7 days, like where you're actually.
Like that's a vacation. I find Vegas can be a vacation, but it's more of a fun trip.
Yeah, because like in a lot of times when you go out on those vacations, you don't go out and drink hard. You know, you'll have some drinks maybe, but you're not drinking hard to where the next day is totally wasted for the most part. You know, I mean, and I think that's the difference is, hey, it's not exactly the same. Yep. You know, so. I don't know. That's, because when I went out to Boston, I loved it out there. It was a different type of vacation, though. Yep. So that's the only difference. So, I mean, you can give and take on Vegas, I guess. Toss it up and say.
But that's our kind of take on Vegas and a few fun things that we got into. And if you are out there in the near future, let us know what you're up to.
Yep. You see my weed guy.
It's
almost up.
Yeah, because they know anybody with weed, just go to anybody. If you see a guy smoking weed, go up and say Austin said hi.
You're probably like this crazy white man fucking.
Yeah. Oh, Austin,
yeah.
Take my weed.
But I will say, though, I was really proud of us. Like, although it was, like we said, a short trip, I thought the 4 of us did very well sharing a room for those few days. And
that's what's nice when you know people that, because it's like.
Sometimes it can go the other way.
I mean, if you don't know the people or if it's like, a big thing when it's like, it's sort of like having a roommate out there. Yep. It's now you have all of a sudden you have these people that, on any vacation, like even when you go with your parents or something like that.
Well, yeah, you find these kinks in people.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
I really wish I didn't stay with that night
Right.
with
Or
them.
you find things out about them that you might not have known before.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Well, like, I mean, when I went on my work trip the other day, we got our own hotel room. You know how happy I was that we got our own, because it's like, if you're not, have you guys ever had like a roommate that you just didn't know or
Yes.
anything like that?
Like, you
Yes,
didn't
I did.
know?
You have?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
in
have,
college.
actually.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah,
Was it weird?
I mean, no, I don't think
Yeah.
it's weird. I thought he was weird.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think
I
the
had it
situation
twice.
wasn't weird, but I just thought
I had
the
college. I had
particular
college
individual
in the
was weird.
dorms.
Yeah. But like I had college in the dorms where it was like my random roommate freshman year, and then we ended up living together for 3 years, which was awesome.
So it turned into something good.
Right. And then I stayed in a suite with 3 people, including myself. And then one of those people was random. She was like a Chinese foreign exchange student, didn't know her at all, but probably the weirdest roommate. Well, no, she was pretty strange just because of the cultural differences. A lot of weird things I'm just going to say were cultural differences. Don't know. Maybe they're just her. Not sure. But then the weirdest roommate, my last semester at college, I stayed in like an apartment, and I had a friend of mine also who was going to be a teacher, and was my other part of the roommate or whatever. We each had our own rooms, own bathroom, whatever, big shared living room, kitchen. And then she was going to we were both student teaching, and she was like student teaching close to her house, like her hometown. So she sublet her half of the apartment, and just like some random sophomore dude, and I was a 5th year senior trying to do my student teaching, and he's a sophomore guy who's just like into partying and all. It was kind of crazy.
You want to hear a crazy story about somebody subleasing their? I used to date this girl. Well, not really dated. Okay, we hung out for about a month.
She wanted him.
No, well, she did.
I don't know what you know about Kellen, but every girl
but anyways,
wants him.
so I was hanging out with her, and she starts telling me this story, and I didn't believe it at first. And she's like, "No, for real." And her roommate was like, "No, this is for real." So the house that we were in, there's 4 girls. Before that, there was 4 girls, but one girl was leaving and needed somebody to sublease. So this person said, "Hey, I'll sublease." It was a guy. Well, anyways, this guy got like high as hell or something like that on something, broke into the house again, like couldn't get in because he couldn't figure out his keys, broke into the house, took the one girl hostage, and took her hostage by knife to her throat, was like telling her that he's gonna kill her and stuff. And this is how high he was. He took her to Walgreens, said, "I want you to go in there and like get me some pills and then come out." Well, when he let her into Walgreens, she ran away and said, "Hey, there's this guy's trying to attack me." Mm-hmm. Well, at the thing, he said that the girl that I was seeing, if she would have been there, he would have killed her right away because he didn't like her. Like, I'm like, well, how freaking, and then this girl's life was changed. Like, like that it was like, I'm like, that's the thing with subleasing is like, you don't know who the hell you're getting.
Right. Like you didn't get to choose.
Yeah. And so like, I mean, I
would never do that though.
To somebody.
I would never.
I wouldn't want to be a sublease because like,
sublease.
well, that's the thing when I lived at River Falls for college, you don't know who the hell you're going to get for a roommate. Like I lived in the overflow and we were down to 4 people at one point, and the guy that slept in the bunk above me, because there were 6 people or 6 spots in the room, but there was only 4 of us even to start off. The guy, his name was Bo. Weird freaking dude. And all my other 2 roommates thought, what the frick is this? Like he would eat Bush's beans out of the can, but he would use his fingers. Like he would cut the can open with a jackknife and start using his fingers and scooping them in his mouth.
It's kind of, and you're describing a badass right now.
Well, I'm
going to be honest.
He's kind of admiring him.
Yeah, he doesn't sound very weird.
He sounds like,
friend. Does he kill bear with a knife too?
Well, and people would be like,
bare hands?
"Do you want a spoon or something?" He'd be like, "No, I'm good." And speaking of that, I had a landline there. Like I didn't have a cell phone yet, so I had a landline. But every time he did that, he did it all the time. every time he did it, all I thought of was Dennis the Menace. Because the guy cooks the freaking beans on the, but I mean, it was like, that's the only time I've lived with people I haven't known. And so, like, for me, like, when it comes to pros and cons of like having a roommate, like with Callie, hair everywhere, like in my
I have
crevices.
very long hair.
It doesn't matter.
Specifically, what crevices?
My butt crack, butthole. I mean, it's like you're pulling hair.
He called me the other day and and so like my hair's pretty long, and I don't know how it got there, but it
was
got
like down
there.
to her belly button almost.
No. I don't know how it got where it was on you.
It was in my butthole.
Right.
Well, I mean, what were you doing? Dog dragging your ass?
No, okay.
I think he ate it.
I
Like,
don't
he had to
know.
have eaten it.
First of all, I'm a
What the
hairy
hell?
dude. I don't know.
So
She has hair all
he's
over.
very hairy. Let's just say that.
Well, I've already said that on here before.
So it goes
I
both
know.
ways, is what
but
you're
he's
saying.
my hair, there's less of it, but it's longer. There's more of his.
I'm literally like doing, one of those little like squat spread, like that, pulling hair out of my butthole. I'm like, what the frick is? And it's the weirdest feeling ever. And I've known somebody
This
else.
is so gross.
How did it get in your butt?
Well,
I think he must
well,
have
when
eaten
we were at the concert,
Like
I was
in
telling
something. I don't know.
telling some people the story,
Oh,
and
God.
one of the other guys was like, "Yeah, I've had that happen too."
Oh,
like,
man.
But
Oh.
it's like all this long hair, and that's like, obviously
only on two tubs.
obviously the pro of living with her, I love her, and she cleans the house and
Oh, there
does
you
way better at it than me, and does my laundry because I'm a lazy bastard. But the con is that she likes to cuddle. That's not a con. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
But there's hair all over, and for some reason she can't.
It'll like commonly get like wrapped around his toes somehow when he walks around and I vacuum quite often, just so you know, but I don't know.
Her con for me is that I hack.
Yeah, that's my con too for you.
But have you ever had any pros and cons of like roommates of like
Obviously.
Yeah, like
Obviously.
or it's
what's
like you don't,
your like? Well, you have a roommate right now. What's like something that you enjoy about living with someone?
Well, it's like
you can do whatever.
the thing is, the guy I live with now
It's pretty low
is
maintenance.
like a brother,
Well,
so
for
it's,
yeah,
sure.
it's
nothing
easy.
changes whether he's here or I'll still whack
All
off.
three-
Can he hear
yeah.
me? I don't care.
Well, all three of
I mean,
us
I'm
do
just
stuff
saying,
with
yeah,
each other all the time.
It's a very weird relationship thing. Like, I have a tight knit group of friends that
Is it?
it's almost
You guys have at some point have all lived with each other.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
it's almost creepishly comfortable.
Is it not so simplistic? Like, okay, so the guy that he lives with, his brother lived with me previously. It's like seriously so easy to live with. Like, there's like a group of guys that we can all live together, and it's seriously so easy. It's simplistic. Like, it's like, because you can tell them what you hate and what you don't hate. You're comfortable in front of them, so you can do whatever. Because like sometimes, like when you have roommates,
I think our circumstances are very different than most people's.
yeah.
I'd say like I'm very. It's a tricky one, right? Because when I was like college days, when everyone has no money, I think that's when a lot of relationships get ruined.
Oh yeah.
Borrow or
Yeah.
you know what? So I think that's the majority of actual problems that happen.
Yeah.
Come from money.
Yeah.
I find I don't really get like I can honestly say I never get sick of him.
Yeah. It's easy.
And it's like he's clean.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's hygienic.
Keeps.
I
his
really
area.
can't.
That's a
no,
good
but
one.
really,
That's a good one.
he doesn't walk around. Ooh, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I mean, I'm the dirty one in the house.
Yeah.
It's like, what do
Right.
I have to fucking
Well,
complain
I guess
about?
that
Yeah.
for especially for you guys.
You guys
in
like
your
to eat out.
Like
Oh, yeah.
he let me take the whole upstairs and turn it into a fucking podcast
right.
room.
He's
Yeah.
like you all
know?
are really just chill and go with the flow. But even if you weren't, like you kind of under the assumption that if the other person or whoever you're living with was gonna get bothered by you at some point, it would have been already. You know, so basically, whatever it is that you would do, they're probably gonna put up with it because otherwise they wouldn't be your friend anymore after
Yeah, and
how
it's
many
like,
years.
hey, I need your help.
Well,
He's
and
like,
that's
okay.
the
It's
thing.
not
It's like
Yeah,
oh, it's
before
really
today, Kriya just jumped in the truck and went with you to Best Buy
Well,
to
like-
buy some
like,
lights
and
and help
that's
you
the
set
thing-
it up.
that's
like,
the thing is
and he has nothing to do
all
with
of us
it.
ask each other like, "Hey, you want to go this?" Most
Yeah,
9
well,
out of 10 times we're gonna say yeah.
It's
like,
mainly Kellen asking us to help him, but who's counting?
I didn't say help
They
you.
help me a lot too. So
I
that's
said
nice.
I said just like doing something.
Yeah.
Like
So
like,
I'd say as far as that's kind of a tricky one because I feel like we don't meet the
yeah, true.
pro
roommate.
Like you've had true
Yeah.
roommates, but like for us, it's been like, or else if I haven't lived with you guys, it was my sister and cousin.
Yeah, so I
know.
basically it feels like we've always kind of lived with family.
Well, and
you're
it's
very
been
comfortable.
And the difference, I think, and the reason why it is so comfortable is because like growing up, like once I hit 16 and I could drive, I was at his house at the other buddy that we live with. There was 3 brothers and I was at their house almost every night and every weekend. I spent the night every weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's where we were. So it was like his parents are like my parents. His aunts are like my aunts. I mean, that's how it is. And that's our group of friends. Like we all have differences, but we all have a ton of things that we have in common.
He's huge into football.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They
he'll
don't
go
really
hang out with his
care.
football friends. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
There's
it's
a
like, there's
rivalry,
it's not really, it's not like jealousy. There's none of that.
He's
but
jealous.
It's just not at all.
But I mean,
If I was a 32-year-old still trying to make it pro.
see
I
that
think
there it
there'd
is.
be
Well,
some
I'm
Gotta
31.
get that in.
Gotta
I'm
get
31,
that in.
so I still got a little bit of time.
issues. XFL, man.
Oh yeah,
Could you-
XFL.
What do you think? Okay, I'm not trying to. I really
No.
genuinely want to know how hard do you think it is to make it to the XFL? Genuinely, And I know it's extremely off topic. But I
So there
really
was
wanna know.
there was a guy that I played semi-pro, like he's in the semi-pro that I know, and he was on the tryouts. I don't know if he made it or not.
So it's still pretty hard.
So
Probably.
it's still hard because they still make cuts. They still have a certain amount of people on a roster. I mean, it's still $50,000 on average that they're making, which to play football, I mean, I pay to play football. I mean, it's, and I take a lot of time to not get money to go play football. So, I mean, it's still hard to make. I do like some of their rules.
So
a lot
everyone
better.
that just barely didn't make it to the NFL. They're all
Yeah, I mean,
XFLs.
a lot of them didn't get chances, or you see a lot of them like Cardell Jones, a bunch of players, Sammy Coates, were players that
I don't
were
know
like,
what name he just said.
Yeah,
so.
Same.
like I don't expect you guys to, but
yeah.
like a lot of those guys were in the NFL.
Okay.
They just didn't catch on to a roster. They didn't.
Okay.
They just weren't the right fit for somebody. So I think there will be a lot of things that the NFL or a lot of players that the NFL picks up.
We should do a podcast on that.
Yeah, we can do.
But, yeah.
My team, the Houston Roughnecks, roughneck it up, is 3-0.
Nice. So do you think, I mean, I don't know much about this. I know you made me pick a team.
I think your team's 1 and 2, and Austin's team's 1 and
Okay.
2. I think.
He
And
made us
Kriya's
all
is
pick a
2 and
team.
1.
Yeah, we all had to pick a different team.
Who am I?
You're the Renegades.
I'm the
Dallas
Renegades. That's right.
I'm the Wildcats.
Mhm.
LA.
But
Yeah, they just won this weekend.
do you foresee, because I mean, you're big into all this, that this will be comparable to the NFL at
So
some
it will
point, or is
never
this
be-
just going to be
it'll
kind of
never-
like the redheaded stepchild?
It will
nothing-
never be comparable.
Yeah, I don't.
But it will be.
I like the opportunity it presents.
It's okay. So
And
this
the growth, Okay, here's what excites me, and I know I'll never be to this point, but like the entrepreneur side of me that wants to make a shit ton of money,
Yeah.
just constantly thinks that, hey, some person that actually owns a business could legitimately purchase an XFL team, probably for a reasonable amount of money.
the only
And
difficult,
by reasonable, I mean I do mean millions still.
the only difficult thing about it is
And then
Vince
get-
McMahon owns all the teams.
I know.
That's the
Oh,
only.
he owns all the teams.
Yeah, he
I didn't know that.
he
Oh.
runs the. He
Okay, well,
runs.
there
the
goes
league.
that. I don't really like that.
But could
XFL.
you start your own team?
So
That's what I was wondering.
But I mean, but I think eventually he'll say, hey, if it makes enough money where he can sell off teams and have a board like the NFL does, So I mean, the XFL can make it. It actually fell in at a perfect time because there was the Arena League is down, so there's the Indoor Football League, but it's not as big as the Arena Football League used to be. But the Arena Football League's no longer existent. You have a lot of people like the rules. You can hear in on play calls. You can hear literally. So when they get an interception or throw an interception or something, they'll get right in the quarterback's face. Oh, why did you throw that interception? What did you see? And they're pissed off. They just threw an interception. But it's stuff like that. The kickoff rule, everybody loves.
Well, let's save this.
Yeah.
Let's do a podcast run on XFL.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
So you
I mean,
guys,
we
you guys
kind
got
of went off on a tangent. on the
you guys got to
XFL
brush
thing,
up.
but I'm good, dude.
Oh,
Bo Jackson,
Jesus.
2020.
Yeah, because he plays XFL.
I'll learn all about it. I'm
Yeah.
going to be
But,
the newest
yeah.
expert in town.
Hey,
I think we're
Fago?
good.
Diet Fago.
Did I figure? Well,
Always represent.
the good thing about this shit is that most people aren't watching anymore. So,
Diet Fago.
They probably left us
but yeah.
about
Anyway,
a good hour
if
ago.
you guys like the show, please leave a
Yeah.
subscribe. It's
Appreciate
free. We're trying to hit our little milestone goals, and it helps us out. So,
and we do plan on doing giveaways eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna do some giveaways. We're gonna do some outside content when it gets nicer out. We're gonna start doing some TikTok stuff. Keep an eye on it. It's gonna be pretty funny. I hope pretty fun more than anything. It might probably funner for us than you, but
yeah, you guys
it'll be
might
pretty
not care,
exciting.
but we're trying. We're gonna try to involve everybody
we're
in
trying to
this
involve
stuff.
people.
So
Let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, but please leave a sub, please, and helps us out. So
thank you.
yeah, we're 2 Tubs. Peace out. Bada bing.